One day while I was driving to my folks' house, and to visit them where they're currently at, because people have been watching what's going on with my father, I was talking to Kool-Aid of Base Damage, which, have stuff to do with and been part of, and that's how I started really getting into YouTube, really. Which, if you're in TCG content, please go check them out. We were just talking about, childhood shows, and we were talking, one of the ones that came up was the TV show MASH. And Kool-Aid started talking about how Winchester, I'm going to say this name right, David Allen Ogden Steer, I think I said his name, David Steers, was the voice of Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast. And then I started to think, and so did Kool-Aid, what if they started doing some other voice work? Well, we started doing some digging, and then we went to find out that some of the actors actually went on to become voice actors and did stuff in cartoons and anime. So, for those who don't know, MASH is an American war comedy drama television series that aired on CBS from September 17th, 1972 to February 28th, 1983. It was made as a spin-off of the 1970 movie MASH, which, of course, had the same name. The series varied in style and tone, including the broad comedy and tragic drama, which can be attributed to the fluctuating writing staff over the lifetime of the show, and a variety of sources contributing to the stories, such as actor Alan Alda, and surgeons who actually served during the Korean War. For me, what this show actually means to me, look, I got the full thing. I got this has all 11 seasons, 34 disc set, it has the movie on it. I have the movie back on Laserdisc back there. This show, I grew up on this show, and it means a lot to me for the fact of how the life lessons it teaches you how to deal with trauma, teaches you how to be nice to people, not to judge people by their looks, don't be racist. That's one of the underlying stories, and the fact that life isn't fair, but it's how you deal with it is how you get through with it. This show teaches so many life lessons and portrays death and a bunch of things that happen in life lightheartedly, but stern enough to get the point across. And I just want to say, this looks very nice. This is really thick, and it has a lot of stuff to it. It's actually really, really nice looking. So, and even to this day, I still go watch MASH. It is one of those shows that I go back and constantly, and I laugh at. And it's humor that holds up to this day, and it's one of the best shows I've watched in live TV. And it's just good. So if you get nothing out of this, I recommend you at least picking up and going and watching MASH. It's on Hulu. It comes on TV Land or MeTV all the time if you got actual television and not just internet like me. So please, I implore you to please go and watch this show. So now you're wondering, the title, it's Seiyuu Watch. That's what it's going by, the series. So what do you mean when I say Seiyuu? I'm using it in a literal sense when it comes to this series. Now, what does the term Seiyuu mean? Well, the definition of Seiyuu is as follows: a voice actor in a native language version of anime, a video game, a radio broadcast, or an advertisement in Japan. This basically means a voice actor in anime, cartoons, video games, any radio broadcast, any advertising that you would see on TV. So naturally, when MASH came to all the different people, but there were two people that stood out the most: Mike Farrell, Captain BJ Honeycutt from the show, and David Ogden Steers, Charles Major Emerson Winchester. Now, you're wondering, who are these people? Well, let's talk about Mike Farrell first. Michael Joseph Farrell Jr. was born February 6, 1939 in St. Paul, Minnesota. After graduating high school, he went on to serve in the United States Marine Corps from 1957 to 1959. Some of his more notable roles before becoming, Captain BJ Honeycutt in MASH are: he was a U.S. Ranger in Lassie, the TV show, in 1967. He was Astronaut Arland in I Dream of Jeannie, and he was Chet Kincaid, I believe that's how it is, in the Bill Cosby Show. The other big roles he took on was he did a continuous role in the TV show, which I'm pretty sure is still airing, The Days of Our Lives, which ask your mother about it. Ask your grandmother. They probably know, and they can probably tell you how long it's been running. It's been going on for a very long time. Mike Farrell's big break came in 1975 when he was brought in on the third season of MASH for a newly created role, BJ Honeycutt, where he stayed in that role until the end of the show in 1983. So now you might be wondering, why am I talking about Meg Farrell? Why am I giving this, a bunch of, stuff? Why am I talking about him? Well, with the theme being Seiyuu, which, voice actor, doing commercial voiceovers, being in a radio broadcast, stuff like that, Mike Farrell went on to do some voice acting work after MASH. In 1996, he took on the role of Jonathan Kent in the hit cartoon show Superman the Animated Series, all the way up until 1999 to the end of the show, to which he reappeared in Justice League in 2003 and Justice League Unlimited as the same character as well as Brainiac. Unfortunately, the last time that Mike Farrell did any voice work was when he was Fred Jones in the Scooby-Doo and Supernatural crossover in 2012. And the last bit of actual acting he went on to do was in NCIS when he popped up as a guest role, as a guest star in 2019. He's still alive. He does a lot of activism work. He does a lot of stuff. He is very against the death penalty, which is what his form of activism is. He has books out. I really highly check out his works and all of his books. The book's actually a pretty good read, so I highly recommend you go check it out. But now we're going on to the nit and gritty, the big chunk of this script I'm reading from. David Ogden Stiers. David Allen Ogden Stiers was born on October 31st, 1942, in Corona, Illinois. After high school, he briefly attended the University of Oregon before enrolling in the Juilliard School in New York City, from which he graduated in 1972. Stiers first appeared in the Broadway production The Magic Show in 1974, which he was a minor role. He also appeared in the Charlie Angels pilot as the team's backup chef. But in 1977, where he really thrived and where he really enjoyed was voice acting. He did many voice acting roles and works, but the ones we're going to talk about are his roles in cartoons and anime, of all things. I know, right? There was someone that actually went on to do anime, and I'll get there. Also, he was also in some video games, and not minor video games. I'm talking about some major video games. We'll hit the anime ones first. So, some of the big roles that you probably know, actually, was Mr. Piccolo, not Piccolo from DBZ. I'm talking about Mr. Piccolo from the Miyazaki film Porco Rosso. He was Porco Rosso's mechanic. So you got to see him pop up here and there, where he was the English dub voice. And since we're on Miyazaki films, how about Kamaji from Spirited Away, the spider guy that works in the shop, the boiler room with all the soot spirits. Now, we're just going to keep on going down the list. I got a lot of lists here. Okay, here's one you probably do know. How about Cogsworth from Sleeping Beauty? Fun fact, he was also every single variation of Cogsworth in the Kingdom Hearts games. So anytime you hear Cogsworth, that is him. That is David Ogden Stiers speaking, giving his role, speaking out from the heart. Okay, what about Governor Ratcliffe and Wiggins from Pocahontas? That was him. What about the Archdeacon from The Hunchback of Notre Dame? That was him. What about Dr. Jumba Jabuka from Stitch? And to which he did everything with Jumba, from every single movie and TV show, spin-offs, everything you could think of, to him just doing the stuff in the video games that came out with Stitch. That was him. That was all Ogden Stiers. And it shows that he went on to do a lot of things. He really thrived and really enjoyed being in Disney stuff, being in Miyazaki films, being in video games. That's where his heart lied, and he really did enjoy it. So, he also did a lot of voice acting for other movies, documentaries, and other things like commercials or one-offs of different episodes. But sadly, David Ogden Stiers died on March 3rd, 2018 at the age of 75 due to complications related to bladder cancer. The world did lose an amazing actor and voice actor that day, to which he does live on in multiple works. People still to this day love Stitch. People to this day love Kingdom Hearts. People love MASH. I mean, MASH was translated... I'm getting ahead of myself. Point is, he was a great actor, great voice actor. He did a lot of work when it comes to reaching out for art academies and stuff. He was a good man. So, some of the best voice actors from one of the world's most renowned shows of all time. You see them? talk about Mike Farrell, and we'll talk about David Ogensteers. And I don't mean to butcher your name, I'm sorry. I mean, there's a reason why people love this show. It was translated into over 30 different languages. And if you're trying to look it up, my source is the 30th anniversary special, which you can find on YouTube. That's where I got them. They directly said it was translated in over 30 different languages and spread throughout the world because people just enjoyed the show that much. This show also went on to win, was nominated for 100 different Emmy Awards and took away about 14 of them. So, when you go back and play Kingdom Hearts, or sit down to watch Justice League or Pocahontas, or you go and watch your favorite Miyazaki films, just remember, those people had their lucky break, all thanks to MASH. And without MASH, their Seiyuu work might not have come around. So I hope you take away some knowledge from this. I hope you take away something good from this. So until next time, guys, I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.